Well, welcome YouTubers. I'll give you a little video on putting my rocker arms back on my head. I've kind of done a little preliminary work on them. I've got to take one side off and I'll show you what I'm going to do. But anyway, give you a little update on what I'm doing on the head. Real slow work, but got all my other projects out of the way, so it's time to focus on this now. So anyway, enjoy, hopefully. Get it set up right here. There's my head. As you can see, I got the rocker arm on the one side. Let's see if I can focus it in a little bit better. Okay. It's kind of tricky doing this with the camera. I'm going to get it set up right here so you can see. Anyway, you can kind of see what I've been doing. Got the one rocker arm in. What I've got to do is take this one out, these bolts out, because this stud I've got to seat into the block, and like I've done with this side. See, that one's, and this is what holds your valve cover. So what I've done is chased all the threads in the holes, cleaned them all out. I even had to do a little bit of chasing threads on this, but this is supposed to do. You're supposed to be able to get this, put this in. These nuts are supposed to be able to come off easily. So, I'm going to try to do that. Because what this has got to do is it's got to go down into this hole here, and I've got to seat it all the way up to that thread there. So, I guess I can do that now. That's the key. I stuck it in before and I didn't realize I had to seat it. So what I'm going to do now is just that. Well, I can show you what I'm going to do briefly, and I'll turn it off, do it and come back. That is what they call a die. What you do is you got to get it started. You got to get the right thread on it. This is a 3/8 bolt with a 24 thread count per inch, and so you have to get the right die. Get everything lubricated pretty good. That's the key. And you use this little gizmo here, which will keep it in place, and then you just turn it back and forth like this, and this takes and it cleans out any burrs, just crud that's accumulated on these bolts through the years. And I haven't quite figured what this thing is for yet. But what it'll do is the nuts will go on nice and smooth. That's what I want. I have no idea what this thing is. It's a little cap that goes over the top of this. There's a little. Okay. Now you can see the threads cleaned out, and actually cut a lot of metal out. This is metal shavings. So it, back in the day when these things were made, they didn't have quite the precision that they have today with particular bolts, nuts, and so they were not the most perfect. So running a dye over it helps clean them all up so that your nuts go on real smooth. Now I can put this nut on with no effort whatsoever. Then I'm going to be putting on, this is the left side. Make sure these holes are all good and cleaned out here. Got a lot of gunk in them. Let me just blow those out with the air. So, now what we do is you slide this down over the middle bolt, like that there. So, see some of the crud I got out of the hole, that's why I blew them out. Just goes in like that. Find your hole. Got it? I'll have to find the torque specs for these, but just kind of show you what I'm doing. What it looks like. Hopefully I'll have enough film time here I can put on the we have our other rocker on. And before I get to that, I've got to clean the bolts, so I'll be right back. Okay, we got our bolts cleaned. Now, what a guy should do is take, I've got a grinder with a wire wheel on it, is you clean the threads out. It just helps get any more gunk. There's still some gunk in there. So I clean those out next. Prevents any kind of garbage you can get down in the hole and mess up your threads. So, again, you take now my other side. Now this is the trick. There is an oiler that goes in between. I've got to figure out how this thing works. So bear with me. Oh, it goes like this. It's right down in here. There's a hole. It comes up from the bottom, and this tube goes back down in here, like this. Okay, and there's another hole right here. And you got an oil line that comes up, passes into there. So, what we're going to do now, we got to try to sandwich this thing all together. So slide that down over our rocker arm. Oops. I failed to clean the holes out of the... Okay, we're back. Got the holes cleaned out. One thing that I forgot to check, and I'm going to have to do it on the other rocker, and I'll have to take it off again, is to make sure, if you can see it, my hand out of the way, see that rocker shaft? It's got a little hole right there. And that hole, I believe, lines up with this hole on your rocker arm. Maybe not. I better check into that before I put this together. I think it's not. It should be the other way around. because the inside of these rocker arms have got a bushing with grooves around it for the oil to circulate around it, and if you had the hole right on the top, it would just shoot oil right out the top of your without being able to circulate it. So if you had it like this, 180 degrees, then it forces the oil around and it weeps out. Yeah, that's much better. Yep. I go thinking again. So we turn all these things around so that this is the... Well, welcome back. My memory card was full, and so I just went in and downloaded some of the video. I didn't like it. It was kind of fuzzy. I'm going to post some of it because what I did is I showed you putting in this stud right here. And I put that stud in too. You can see I got them in place right now. I don't have the nut on that yet, but I got all the 2 bolts. Everything's in place. Only thing I'm going to do now is put this oil tube in place. Show you that. As you can see, both sides inside the this thing doesn't get really good focus there. That's hollow. This right here is hollow. And so is this side is hollow. I think I showed you in a previous video of that. And then on the end, they're plugged. You see the plug in here, both ends. So just to kind of reiterate what one of my other videos, this oil is pumped up through a hole into this oiler, and then from there it goes through the oiler into each one of the shafts, and then the shafts have got holes in them. By one of the other videos here I showed you that, but anyway, there's holes in the shaft down here on the bottom, and they circulate the oil up around the rocker arm, and then it comes out the hole, and it kind of spurts. Not much, but anyway, that's how it works. And then the return oil, actually, yeah, you've got to regulate how much oil is going to go through here. This is why this thing right here where I crimped it, uncrimped it, that's going to have to probably be crimped again so I can get oil pressure through these rocker arms. But anyway, the overflow oil then drains back and goes through that hole there. And then of course the rest of it drains. Well, you can see the little trough along there. That's where the oil drains, goes up that hole. So that's how that works. But anyway, get you all up to date where we're at with the rocker arms. So I'm going to put you in a tripod here, and we'll finish buttoning this thing up. Okay, now we're going to put the oil tube in. Let me do something here first. My camera's got a little swing out video deal where I can see what I'm doing. Anyway, put this in here, and as you can see, this ain't going to fit like this. I didn't think it would. But what I've got to do is I've got to take this thing off, this rocker arm here off, and then I got to sandwich this thing. It's all got to go together as one piece, so that's what we're going to do. Fortunately, I didn't put the nut on this one. Normally I got it all put back together, everything torqued, and then I realized I got to do all this. So it's like this is kind of the story of my life. Mechanics. I wish that I had the ability to think things out first and then do it. It would save it a lot of save a lot of time. So now I'm going to take this up. It's going to be tricky. Figure out how this goes in here. It goes in like this. Maybe I was wrong. You can put it in this way. fit. Oh, there we go. Loosen up. Slide it in. The nuts fell off the other side. A little bit of oil on it. Slide better. The little spring is pretty tough, but it's got to be in order to keep this thing in place, because that's basically all that holds it in place is that spring tension. There we go. Just gotta know how to do it. Alright. That's how you do it. And you can see this is held in place. I mean, this doesn't flop around like this, but there's like I said, an oil line that comes up through this hole here, and it's got a nut on it. And what I didn't realize, this is the oil line. And this comes down in this spot here alongside your engine, and in your block there is a hole that goes through the block and goes out the other side to your oil pump. You got a little pump on the side of the opposite side of the spark plug, on the intake, the manifold side I should say. But anyway, then it screws into that. I didn't know that. Anyway, I ruined this, getting it out, so I gotta get a new one. Anyway, you live and learn. So that's pretty much that. Just fasten these down. I run a die over this one bolt while we were gone too. And just looking, see I got any gunk on there. Really don't. Just switched over here. So that's it. That's my rocker arm installation. And when I put this, reassembled everything together, I used some stuff that's called Lucas Assembly Lube, and it's pretty good stuff. It's kind of sticky. It's like a grease that just kind of says it's high pressure additive for maximum protection during engine braking. So I greased up this shaft and inside these bushings and all this stuff. So. But anyway, that's all we have. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I'll get back at this engine that's sitting back behind me here, get this cleaned up, and I'll get some more videos of popping the pistons out. And I bought some new babbited rods. I found out what babbited was. One of the YouTube watchers wrote in and I didn't have a clue what babbited was, and so I did some research and talked to some people, and they showed me what it meant. And so when I get those rods, we'll explain all that too, what babbited means when you have a rod that is babbited. But anyway, I found some on eBay, some new old stock, and for about 60 bucks I got a set of rods. So I thought for that price it's better safe than sorry. I'll just put those in and hopefully they'll fit. I don't know what my crank's going to look like. You know, I will have to check with some plastic gauge to make sure that, you know, they're right. Maybe I was a little premature in buying them, but the deal with the price was good, and so anyway, I've got them. Worst comes to worst, I just keep the old ones and throw them back in. But that's all we got for now. So until next time, we'll see you later.